and
$1 million on the neck.
So in December of 2024, my total assets subtracted by my total liabilities has equated to over $1 million, making me officially a millionaire. And I thought about doing a video just kind of going into like what it's like, something that I personally can look back 10 years from now of what was going through my head at this time, as I do have videos from way in the past where I was literally broke and I had nothing. So it's cool to kind of see for my own personal benefit, but then also to show you guys what it's actually like. Now, before we dive into this, we do have a flight to catch. So let's head to the airport. So I'm actually headed to New York today. It's actually the first time I've been to New York in the last, I would say 10 years. It's not really a place to go to often, where typically I travel to like Miami, Scottsdale, Nashville. That's where a lot of the internet marketers are at and everything like that. But we're actually headed out to New York today because we're going to see two different people. Person number one is Sam Jacobs. He invited me onto his podcast, so we're gonna go out and chill out together and everything. Spoken in Sam's mentoring program before as a guest speaker, and he has a pretty awesome community and stuff. So cool to see Sam and chat with his people. And then the other person we're going to check out is Ash with Obvi. If you guys ever heard of Obvi supplements and stuff, we're going on his podcast called Ad Spin. Pretty cool podcast. It has a lot of heavy hitters on there, so super professional production. So it's gonna be like the first like big podcast I've ever been on. Yeah, it's gonna be a ton of fun. It is also way too cold or way too wet to do any type of pools right now. It's been rainy and muggy the last couple of days. Really hoping my flight doesn't get too delayed, but we already got delayed like 10-15 minutes, so we'll see what happens. Yes, I am leaving the Urus at the airport. I actually got super lucky because last week when I flew to Dallas, this whole airport was full and I literally had to like park in almost a random spot, but we actually got a spot today, so that's actually very good. All right, stay good. Would you believe that I literally have everything inside of there? Two quick wins real quick. We had an agency client literally due yesterday, due over $35,000. This is inside of Triple Well. And then another really cool win is just uploaded a YouTube video, had a great Facebook ad, images that scale in 60 seconds, and we are crushing it today. So giving a little time, waiting for our flight. Just made it over to the Atlanta airport and we almost missed our flight. It was supposed to have like literally get here right at like boarding and stuff like that. Ended up getting here like 20 minutes early, so we should be good for our next flight. Yo, we got a really big treat with this setup right here. We even get the lay flat seats. That's awesome. Solid. I am literally fiending right now for a Monster, and I've gone to 3 different places and none of them have Monsters right now, but we're gonna head to the airport. I just checked in the hotel and we are literally on the last floor. We got the house. All right, we're gonna get first reactions. Wow, this is pretty sick. This is staying at the Equinox Hotel. I've never stayed at the Equinox Hotel before, so it's the first. I saw Will Tennyson. I don't know if you ever watched his YouTube channel. He just stayed out here recently with his wife, and check out that view real quick. Wow. That's pretty sick. This is crazy. Look how many fucking supplements comes in this hotel. What the hell? I can literally become a whole fitness influencer over here with how much stuff they got. I got some Element, which I already brought some Element. Yeah, some True Niagen. Okay. And then you literally have workout gear up here. That's sick. Got all kinds of stuff. I never do legs on a travel day, but because this gym was pretty sick, we had to actually go for it. It's definitely one of the coolest gyms I've been in, specifically for a hotel. And if you are questioning to go to Equinox, recommend for sure. Show you all the type of views we're getting in here. It's a pretty sick gym. And then also too, come right here, we have like this big thing. And then view the Hudson River. It's a vibe. I fuck with it. It's really cool, like chill area. Wednesday was my best workout ever, but just getting some movement in helped a ton. Yo, we just had turkey sandwich, some octopus right in the middle. It's a vibe. It reminds me of those like movies, whatever, eating New York, midday lunch. All right, we just showered and everything. About to go hang out with Sam Jacobs now, going to Sam Jacobs podcast. So looking forward to going at that. About what this whole vlog is about, which is, you know, what it's like now being a quote unquote millionaire. And I don't want to sound like there's no pros to it or anything like that. I don't want to sound like pretentious and like, oh, hey, it's not that great, blah, blah, blah. But also too, you're going and staying at these 5-star hotels, you're flying first class and all those things. I just think that a lot of people think once you become a millionaire, it's private jets. It's, you know, like literally like those types of things. And while it's pretty close, it's not quite that. I think the biggest thing when I became a millionaire, it's that I'm doing the same thing when I was making 40, 50K a year. But the only difference is that the things around me are nicer in the sense of, okay, hey, I still have to fly the same plane as everyone else, but I'm flying first class. I'm still staying at hotels just like everyone else. It's a nice room, but it's not, you know, penthouse. It's not the whole floor just for me type of thing. I'm still have to drive to the airport just like everyone else. Just the only difference is instead of like a Toyota Corolla, you're in a Lamborghini Urus. You don't have a private driver yet, which drives you around and chauffeurs you around. I think at that level right there, that's what a lot of people think a millionaire becomes, when it's actually completely false. It's just the same things as everyone else, but just nicer things. You don't really unlock private driver, private jet, like private chef statuses until you get to around, I would say $10 million or making about $10 million a year, which is like another 10x for me right there. But it still has a lot of benefits and I still love it. And I'm still extremely grateful and like all of those good things. Yeah, we just got over to Sam's place. And it's a pretty sick setup we got this podcast.
Best fulfillment in the game. Let's go. All right, let's go.
Let's get it.
Iced out G-Shock, immersive chain, 1 million on the neck, 1 million in sales on the neck, right? Come on, guys. Don't play with us. Auto DS, we coming for you.
Just wrapped up the shoot with Sam. Now I head back to the room and I'm actually going to meet up with one of my inner circle students. I'm going to go grab a drink at a little bar. So super excited. It's always fun meeting everyone, especially students and stuff like that. It's always really cool to meet them when I'm traveling and stuff like that. So if you ever want to meet me privately, have a drink, join the inner circle program. If I'm in your city, we'll chat. Before I go, I just wanted to show y'all really quick. This is an SOP I literally just put together on how to lower your cost per click to increase your profitability on paid advertising. And I pretty much go into like a high level way of all the key things that you need to do. And obviously I just dropped this over to my inner circle students. So they're getting a nice little treat. And then also the people that bought my course, also tossing this in there for you guys. So nice little treat. I literally just spent the last 3 hours hammering that out before we leave now to go grab drinks. Bro, that is wild. My God. Yo, so we just came out for drinks and they got an insane amount of fog at this little bar we're at right now. On top of the, what, 38th? 40th floor? 50th floor? It's insane. Drinks are good though. Never actually tried the Dragonberry Celsius, the big Celsius. Thing crazy. But go for a little walk right now and check out the Vessel. Pretty cool spot. Just give you a little preview real quick. Let's try to talk about the mentality of the minute your bank account rolls over, your net worth rolls over to $1 million. There is some level of impact when it comes down to your abundance mindset in the sense of just, hey, I've been able to achieve this goal that I've been striving for. Now it just makes making more so much easier. Now the next thing is once that number rolls over in your bank account, nothing like happens when that happens. Like for me, like most people don't even realize when that number happens. For me, every single month I log all my assets and log all my liabilities and log my income in a Google Sheet. And then every month I do that, and I've been doing that for the last 2 years. And I mostly do that just from a personal, like, hey, I'm striving to make more, I'm striving to grow. And I know that everything we track in life is the things that we measure and put intention behind to improving on. So for example, share my other hand, this is a Whoop band. This Whoop band literally goes and tracks my sleep, tracks all my daily calories, steps, all of those good things. So I put intention behind improving that area of my life in terms of like a health perspective. So I know that if I track income, I track wealth, I track assets, liabilities every single month, it puts pressure behind me on months when I'm not doing so great to push further and like make more. And I think that's something right there that is the only reason why I've maybe like, oh cool, hey, we hit that number, and that was it. There was no like bunch of fairies coming in the room and like congratulating me, or someone rolls out a red carpet and like brings me a fucking cake. It was just like, all right, cool, I hit that number and move on. Quick breakfast stop. Looks pretty solid. So the next thing I want to hit on is what's called financial security. Yes, financial security is created by having what I would say abundance of money, right? But you still do have what I would say financial insecurity, in the sense of a weird pressure starts coming to you once you start making more money, of wanting to preserve it, not lose it. And it also can negatively affect your actions, because now instead of going for making more money, you start to go into a mindset of, how do I conserve? How do I protect? And you stop chasing more money. So you see the problem here I'm creating for you? So what this does, and this is something I experienced too for a period of time, where you stop striving, you stop pushing yourself, you go protection mode, and you start making less money. So that's something right there that I did face during like starting to make more money. And to be honest, the only way around that is, number one, just being thankful for everything you have. As cliche as it sounds, that is something that did help. The next thing is where you start to look at how making money was not an accident. It was actually something that you did a set of actions every single day to make more money. In the sense of, we look at like a weight loss program, where every day you worked out, every day you ate a certain diet, and those actions taken for 90 days can lead to a pretty significant transformation for weight loss. So same thing here, when you are making more money and you're scaling and everything, and you start making a lot and you start getting insecure in the sense of, oh, I could lose it any minute, blah, blah, blah. Getting out of that mindset, which is simply going into more of, hey, this didn't happen by accident. Actions I've taken every day, and I take these actions every day with the intention of making more. Funny, because I just got off the elevator and those people talking about like a little rich British lady talking about her husband races cars for a living and stuff like that. And it's one thing I love about places like this, just being surrounded by money, because it makes you want to make more money. And that's the next pitfall we'll fall into. Another big pitfall that a lot of people fall into, once they start making more money, they stop wanting to make more. And they want to feel big, they want to feel like, oh, I'm on top of the world. But being in places like this is what makes you feel broke as a millionaire, and realize there's levels to the game and that you need to keep pushing for more. Headed to the Equinox right now, 4th floor. It's like crazy, this elevator system, because you go to the 25th floor, you get to another elevator, and then I go to the 38th floor where I'm staying at. So yeah, a lot of elevators jumping around. I made some work done right now at the Equinox little lounge area. This is pretty cool. It's a vibe. Finishing up a new SOP right now for some of my inner circle students. This one makes you want to push so much more when there's literally people here that run companies that do hundreds of millions of dollars a year in revenue. Yo, so I'm going through videos right now, and we just made this one ad for a client. It's probably going to get banned. Like, no lie, we're probably going to get banned for this. But it's the doctor one. I don't know if you've ever seen this one before. Using Adobe Express to create the animation, and then literally just going in like cursing and stuff like this. I've seen one YouTuber crush it, a couple million views every time he drops this particular like little character on charts. So we're gonna risk it. We're gonna risk it for the biscuit, see what happens, and maybe I'll do an update video in a couple weeks on this. Also, just got some new students join the group, so that is fire. We're at 76 members now, Inner Circle, and obviously I sent them the whole link and all that, so they're going through it, and chatting up with them right now. I'm on some Facebook ad results and all that good stuff. Also, let's go. We got another 2 out of 10, which is actually phenomenal for a new video today going out, which is Facebook ad campaign structure scale to 500K months. Not too bad for the pump. Little arm day. One of the biggest struggles when I started making more money was actually the fact of getting complacent and comfortable with the amount of money I was making, because like I upgraded my lifestyle and I was making more than I needed. So I had excess income. And this is where 2 things need to happen. Number 1, I need to reset new goals. I no longer had a goal of 100K a month. I had to set a new goal now of $1 million a month of what I want to hit. Next thing, I had to surround myself with new people. So I joined new masterminds and new mentors, all specifically with helping me hit $1 million a month. Now I haven't hit that yet. Still only hovering around the 150, 200K a month mark. But I surrounded myself with the right people now that everyone's doing $1 million a month to make it, almost like if everyone's doing it, it's gonna put me in a high probability that I'll be next. So that's number 2. And then the last thing is I had to set a new goal of why I wanted to make $1 million a month. Because I no longer had the goal of hitting $100,000 a month to buy the cars I want. I now had to set a goal of what am I gonna do at $1 million a month in terms of the revenue, and what am I gonna put it towards? So for me, this is where I actually had to set the goal of where I wanna be at when I'm 50 years old. At 50 years old, how much money do I want to have set aside to live the rest of my life and choose to not have to work for income anymore? So I can still work, but I don't have to work. I can still play around, write ads all day, but only if I feel like it, only if I want to at 50 years old. And for me, I need to have $100 million invested to live the lifestyle I want at 50 years old. That realistically only comes down to putting $80,000 a month into the S&P 500. That is it. Now, obviously there's a lot of other technicals around that as well. It's not just 80K a month. It's also putting in a lot of compound interest. So running a compound interest calculator can help you out a lot with that. We're headed now to go meet Ash at Obvi to film podcast number 2. Got me a nice little smoothie to go for the road. Got a nice little 30-minute Uber. Chilling outside front of the hotel right now, waiting for the Uber. It's also why I love staying at places like this, because there's just money everywhere. Seeing all this just helps you out a lot with expanding your mindset and like, yo, I want to make this just like my everyday. How much more money I need to make to be able to do this. Just got to the studio and I don't know what Ash got me at, but I'm in the middle of nowhere. I feel like I'm about to get kidnapped or something like that. That was sick. Nice little setup right there. Very professional. Podcast is done, so now we're gonna go over some stuff. Chilling over here in the Obvi HQ with Ash. About to go over some ad account stuff and do a little deep dive. I literally just got back from the pod and I absolutely just crashed. Show these views though. Pretty sick. But next thing I'm gonna talk about, making more money, is the amplification of character, which is pretty much like this. So when you start making money and you're already an asshole, for example, when you make more money, you're just gonna be a bigger asshole. If you're already someone who gives your money very freely to people when you're not making a lot of money, then when you become a millionaire, you're just gonna be able to do that significantly more. So like, for example, for me, like even when I was making like $500 to maybe $1,000 a month and like paid myself, like I would always donate 10% of that to, various charities and stuff like that. So now that I'm making more, like I'm able to just give like so much more to people in terms of like donating to charities and stuff. And, like I'll just find like random like GoFundMes and stuff like that like no one's donating to, that are like for a good cause. So I'll just like go donate $1,000 or $2,000 real quick. So whatever you are as a person right now, before you start making a lot of money, if you don't change those ways, when you do make a lot of money, it's just going to amplify that character. So like if you were already like doing a ton of flexing and you're broke, but like you're flexing on social media to look rich, then you make a lot of money, you're just gonna flex a lot more. And the problem with that is that it devalues your actual like sense of worth, because then it's like you feel like, oh, people only like me when I flex. And you also lose your personality, because then your only personality is flexing and money and stuff like that. So yeah, amplification of character, that's also another thing that like I think a lot of people go through when they start making a lot of money and hitting that like quote unquote millionaire status. And speaking of being grateful for my money or being able to spend it, you know, freely on others, I'm actually going to take out my uncle and my cousin now to dinner. That's gonna be fun. So I ended up actually doing terrible and not getting any footage from last night. But yeah, last day here. We're actually gonna be wrapping up this vlog here shortly, but I do need some type of food and an energy drink. So let's go get that. And then I want to talk to you guys about the last key thing, what feels like, you know, actually be, you know, millionaire. Also, I goofed last night. They have this, I don't even know what this is, but it's some type of like liquid you take, whatever. Anyway, I opened up this cabinet over here. So like, we already know like there's a whole fucking drug cabinet in this thing. But I was like, oh, what are these? Obviously they got the snacks. I ate me some things already. But then they got this whole thing, which is like a mixture of things here, you know. But then they have this little thing. I don't know what this is. What does this do? Seawater minerals. Okay, I think it's an interesting thing. But anyway, I was doing that last night and I ended up picking this up and actually failed out. So I'm probably about to get charged $100, $200, whatever that is. But yeah, they got all kinds of other stuff in here. So that was my little goof. We grab us a much needed Celsius. It's also hilarious because I've just been rocking Kill Crew and like t-shirts pretty much this whole trip, besides like when we go eat out and like wear my pants and stuff. And this whole hotel, like everyone is in suits. Everywhere I go, people are in suits and stuff like that. So, you know, the Miami vibe, it does not work well over here. If you care about all those things, luckily for me, like, I just don't give a fuck. And that's also another thing. Like, once you start making money and like, you really do not need validation from other people or care what other people think. So like, you just wear whatever you're feeling. And that's also another thing that I've noticed a big change for me when I became a millionaire. Nothing like a good cold Celsius. Start the morning, get that blue. I don't know if we go the blue. There we go, Arctic 5. That'll be set. Take a look at the place. Worst B-roll ever. I fear everyone's like expecting some like high level vlog out of this, and this is really like 90% of my days. Just chill guy, walking around, cruising through life, making some money on some ads, and that's about it. That's all we do here. So last major thing I want to talk about is continuing to strive for excellence and playing the game beyond just making money to where it's like kind of you're playing Call of Duty. Like for me, I love Call of Duty. I play a fairly good amount of Call of Duty. And one of the biggest things with playing like Call of Duty and stuff is leveling up your character. You know, you start leveling up the game, you start unlocking new attachments for your gun and stuff like that. You know, you get like the camos and everything like that. Once you get to a certain level and like you know, rank up to like, I think it's like 55, some games it's like even 70 at that point right there. Then it's like you can prestige, kind of do it all over again. But you just basically, you lose the fact of like the accomplishment anymore. And then you just start playing the game for the love of it. And that's one of the biggest things that I do with marketing and advertising and everything like that. It's all around playing a game that I can stay in for 55, 60 years old, where I actually love it and continue to want to dive into it. And that right there is what allows me to stay in something, play a game that continues to make money for me long term. There's a lot of people that have hit $1 million. I know people personally that built businesses and hated it so bad that they got out of it and went back down to almost zero, just because the game they chose to play was a game they hated, but they only played it to make the money. Yeah, check this out. A lot more good B-roll. It's a pretty sick area. That's the building we're staying in right here, this one. I don't need to do any shopping right now, but this is pretty cool. Which reminds me of Scottsdale. They have Old Town Mall, whatever it is. I feel like I shouldn't be in here right now because like literally all the stores are closed and now it's just like workers walking by. But I had to come check it out. It's pretty sick, like mall looking thing. Got like 2 or 3 stories with hundreds of little stores in it. Get a little extra steps in before my flight. Hope y'all enjoyed this vlog. They'll get better as I get a little bit more used to this whole vlogging thing. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do one of these every Friday, or at least maybe not every Friday, but every other Friday or something like that. Gets you guys a little bit more of a different perspective outside of just Facebook ads of what's going on. So if y'all enjoyed this, drop a comment below. And yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Hope you have a good rest of y'all day. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all later.